Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I got another crazy current events video for you guys, and this one is concerning Cyberpunk 2077. And in this story, the Polish government is actually monitoring Cyber 2077's progress. CD Projekt Red is a Polish developer, and the Polish government is monitoring them. Now, what does that mean exactly? It means that they're checking whether the game is actually getting patched, whether the game-breaking glitches are getting fixed, and if they don't actually fix a lot of these glitches in a certain amount of time, that the developer and the publisher is actually going to be fined 10% of all of their earnings. So 10% of all of the earnings they made, they are going to have to pay that in a huge fine if they don't fix these glitches. So I have this article down below here. This is from The Gamer. I'll link it also. Polish government monitoring CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 progress. The patches and bug fixes best be up to scratch out in a timely manner, or CD Projekt Red could be in hot water with the Polish government. CD Projekt Red isn't just in hot water with fans when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077. As they are facing multiple lawsuits and the ear of the Polish government, the Office of Competition and Consumer Protections is monitoring CD Projekt Red's work on patches for the game, and if they fail to deliver, they could be fined 10% of their income from 2020. UOKiK answers directly to the Prime Minister of Poland, and its main goal is to protect the interests of the consumer. They are authorized to monitor, hold investigations, give fines, and even withdraw products from the market. With CD Projekt Red being based in Warsaw, Poland, they fall under Polish jurisdiction, hence their investigation. Now, I'm going to say this about Cyberpunk 2077 is a lot of this huge mess that they had, especially with the PS4 versions, the Xbox One versions, this could have been avoided if they had delayed the game even further. Sure, people would have been pissed off about another delay, but it would have given them time to actually fix a lot of the issues in the game. The problem is that the executives, the big executives at the company that rush out products like this. Now, me personally, I never got the game because I'm just not into games like this, but read into a lot of it, watched videos on it, especially in a lot of the glitches. People on the PS4 and Xbox One versions certainly aren't happy. The issue is that you have these executives that just rush out products like this. They wanted a holiday release, so they wanted it to be released before the holidays, even though they knew that the state the game was in. They just decided to rush it out anyways, hoping that people would probably look past the glitches. Well, that didn't happen. They even misled their investors like 2 weeks before the release, telling them that there's very few glitches in the game and that there's nothing to worry about. And actually, a group of these investors is actually suing CD Projekt Red now. Sony has also taken this game off of the PlayStation Store, which I haven't really heard of something like that happen before, where Sony has taken a game off the PlayStation Store. So even though the reception to this game has been positive when it works. So when the game works, when the game plays on other things like PC, on the PS5, people are generally happy with it. They like the story, they like the gameplay, but as for the game-breaking glitches on the PS4 and the Xbox One, people are pretty pissed off. Now, about the Polish government getting involved in stuff like this, I'll say, though, that I feel really bad for the developers that worked really hard on this game and tried their best. The people that I don't feel bad for is the executives. The executives that rushed this out, because now this whole mess is because of them. And the thing about this is the executives are probably going to blame the developers for this. They're probably going to blame the developers when they're the ones that actually rushed the game out. And similar things have happened, but not to this extent. I remember 7 years ago, I actually remember when Battlefield 4 was coming out. I was really excited for Battlefield 4. And what happened was EA had actually pushed DICE to rush out Battlefield 4 before the holidays because they wanted a holiday release for it. And what happened was when Battlefield 4 released, it was a total disaster. There were so many game-breaking bugs. There was no lawsuits as far as I can remember, and there certainly wasn't fines. But there was a lot of people that were really angry about that. The launch of Battlefield 4 wasn't good. Eventually, they fixed all the glitches, and Battlefield 4 works fine now, but it was a disaster when it launched. So let's keep reading through this. Malgorzata Cieloch, the spokesperson, stated, "We asked the entrepreneur to explain the problems with the game and the actions taken by him. We will check how the manufacturer is working on introducing corrections or solving difficulties that prevent the game from being played on different consoles, but also how it intends to act in relation to people who have complained and are dissatisfied with the purchase due to the inability to play the game on their equipment despite the manufacturer's previous assurances. So it's like I said, the developers that worked hard on this game, they've worked years to make this game. They put a lot of effort into it. I feel bad for them. And now they're going to possibly suffer, fines because of just the fact that the executives just wanted to rush the game out. They wanted their holiday release because they know that they'll sell a ton of copies right along the holidays. People are going to be buying that for themselves and for other people. And this corporate mentality, this is everywhere. This isn't just for video games. This is pretty much everywhere. And I can tell you that from personal experience, I've also experienced this myself. I've worked in retail, you guys know, for many years, and I've seen this exact same arrogant corporate attitude. And obviously we're not developing video games in retail, but I remember very clearly when corporate would constantly cut hours. They would constantly cut people's hours. They would constantly limit the amount of people that were working on the shift because they didn't want to pay for more workers that day when they could have definitely helped. They could have made the day much easier, helped out, get a lot more stuff done, helped out a lot more customers, but they didn't feel like doing that. They didn't want to waste more money on bringing in more people, or they cut people's hours. And what ends up happening is this is why whenever you go into a store, you go into most retail stores, obviously not everyone, but most retail stores, and you'll see, just pay attention to workers, and you'll see that the workers are constantly running around. You'll see maybe one or two cashiers, and you'll see really long lines. The reason that happens is because of this exact same mentality, where corporate is basically oh, you don't need more people for this job. This is the amount of people that you can get. You can get everything done with this limited amount of people. And basically, what happens is we're not able to help every single customer. People get angry, people get annoyed, and they call corporate and actually complain on customer service scores, customer service reviews. And what happens is corporate then, they don't seem to realize that they're the ones that messed up. They don't get that in their heads. They're the ones that messed up. They could have easily put on more employees on the shift, made sure that everything was done. Nope. You know what instead they do? Instead they blame the workers. They put it all on the workers and say, you guys messed something up, not us. You guys messed something up with customer service. It's your fault. You guys better do a better job. We're going to cut your hours even further. And comparing this to a video game publisher, don't really see much of a difference, especially with companies like EA, companies like Activision. And now with what happened with Cyberpunk, I'm sure there was plenty of developers that put a lot of effort in. They put a lot of work in because this game has been developed for years. And I feel truly bad for those people. I do. For the publisher, the executives, the big guys who actually rushed this game out, didn't want to listen to developers, I don't feel sorry for them at all. But unfortunately, the publisher is probably going to put this, or the executives, because I believe it's still the same company, they're probably going to put this blame on the developers. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're probably going to put the blame on the developers when it's the executives' fault for rushing out the game when it wasn't ready. But I guess we'll see what happens. And Cyberpunk, they sold, I think, 13 million copies. The article says that also. So they made plenty of money from this game, even though, the game did have its fair share of issues. When the game works, when the game isn't glitchy, people say good things about it. And it's not my type of game. It's not a game that I'm personally interested in, but a lot of people like this game. A lot of people had high hopes for this game. And like I said, when it works, it's a good game. People like it, but any game with game-breaking glitches is going to piss people off, even the best game in the world. Well, let me know what you guys think down below of this whole situation. Do you think that the Polish government is right for fining them 10% of their earnings? And maybe, stuff like this, maybe it'll persuade publishers in the future to actually listen to their developers and not constantly push them and make them work long hours and not give them the proper time and also rest to be able to complete projects like this. But let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like. And if you're new to my channel, enjoy my content, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.